Sorry I dropped the camera. Hey, what's up? It's Skid Gore back with another video. Somebody wants to say hi. You want to say hi? No. Oh, okay. I guess she's kind of skittish. Alright, I'm gonna let you down, okay? Okay. Sorry about that. Hey, what's going on? Skid Gore back with another video. Binky making her obviously weekly appearance, I guess. I don't know, she's kind of skittish tonight, I guess. Sorry, buddy. She's gonna hang out in here for a little bit. This might actually be the last of the C's, so I might actually get started on some D's tonight. I have no idea how this goes. This might be a couple videos too, because I ramble a lot and I have a lot to show, so appreciate y'all watching. Cheers. Alright, let's get into this. I'm going to start with the VHSs first because I'm just going to fly through those. So starting at first with Curse 3, Blood Sacrifice. I remember this one being pretty good. Christopher Lee's in it. Some of these also do not have covers. Don't ask me why, I have no idea. This is actually from Fangoria Films, an older one by them. It's called Children of the Night. This is one that I would love to see get a decent DVD Blu-ray and rescued from VHS obscurity, because this movie is actually really, really good. It's a really good vampire film. I actually really enjoyed this one. Really good atmosphere. Good gore. Obviously, you know, it's from... I think it's... I don't know, Fangoria, I know it had something to do with it. I do remember that. But really good vampire film. One of the better modern vampire films. The head vampire is pretty iconic, actually. This is one that really needs to get rescued from VHS obscurity. I think it did have a DVD release, but, you know, it's way out of print. But I think Severn or somebody should rescue this. Children of the Night. Candyman 3, Day of the Dead. I liked it. I really got to upgrade that. Carnosaur, one of my favorite modern dinosaur films for sure. Roger Corman classic for sure. This dinosaur, man. I saw this movie back when I was a kid, because obviously I was a huge dinosaur fan, and I'm also a fan of Jurassic Park. And this movie came out shortly after Jurassic Park, whereas Jurassic Park was more of a fun adventure movie set for kids, maybe, you know, but this one was definitely a true blown-out horror film with shitloads of gore. Like Carnosaur. Awesome. Child's Play 2. Classic. Crawl Space with the crazy Claudius Kinski. I actually really enjoy this one. I know it just got a really good upgrade DVD Blu-ray release. I really should upgrade, because actually this is a really good movie. It's about this crazy dude, Claudius Kinski, obviously, plays an apartment. I think he's like a landlord, but he's also a Nazi, and he plants all these traps, and he's obsessive of this one woman, and he just does everything to go after her, and it just gets really ugly. Crawl Space was good. I enjoyed it. This one really got a good upgrade recently too, and I would love to upgrade this one as well. That is The Company of Wolves. Really good werewolf film. I enjoyed this one. Angela Lansbury, rest in peace, is actually in this. She does a good job. But yeah, this movie's right up there with, you know, Wolfen or The Howling or Silver Bullet or any of those great 80s werewolf movies, I think. And really good transformation. John Candy is in this movie, actually. It's called The Clown Murders. This is a huge box. I don't know if this is rare or what, but pretty happy to have this. The Clown Murders. Pretty good movie. It's more of like a maybe a murder mystery more than a horror movie, but it definitely has like horrific elements within it. And it's weird seeing John Candy in a horror movie, but yet he still is kind of funny in this too. So you can see this must have been his first or one of his first movies, I think. So yeah, The Clown Murders, that was pretty good. Classic Christine. Can't go wrong with Christine. Carnosaur 2. Right up there with the first one. I enjoyed it. Good dino action. I had this movie in my last showing on DVD, but this is the VHS I had for a while. I'm a fan of this one. It's called Cut. It's an Australian slasher film. Pretty cool. I think I also had this one, Children of the Corn 3, Urban Harvest. Not the greatest, not the worst, though. This is a movie that needs, I don't think this movie ever got a DVD or Blu-ray release. It's called Club Vampire. It's actually a pretty good modern vampire movie. From what I remember, it's been a while since I've seen it. From what I remember, it was about this woman who's a prostitute trying to survive, make ends meet as a prostitute, and then she gets bitten and turns into a vampire, and then her son is trying to protect her, and it's from what I remember. It was pretty good, I think. Club Vampire. And since I can't show my niece like August Underground or something when she comes over, we gotta have like a classic kids movie. I like it too, though. Little Casper. Gotta have Casper. That one's for you, Leah. I doubt you're watching. And then last, Child's Play. And this one I'm pretty happy to have. This is City of the Walking Dead, also known as Nightmare City, which I do have a DVD of it, and that will be coming in the future. But yeah, I think this is cut. Maybe not. Maybe it is the unrated version. I don't know. But yeah, this is a crazy movie where they're not really zombies. They're more or less infected. It's an Umberto Lenzi film. They're just like running amok and stabbing people with machetes and tearing their eyes out. And it's pretty wild. City of the Walking Dead on VHS. This movie is also called The Redeemer. It's actually a really good slasher movie with a lot of backstory. I believe the character committed suicide. But Class Reunion Massacre, also known as The Redeemer. Definitely a great film. I think Code Red released this as The Redeemer a while ago, but man, I can't find it for the life of me, and I'd love to because I actually do like this movie a lot, so Upgrade would really be nice. Class Reunion Massacre. I do like that cover, though. It's pretty badass. Kind of nostalgic back to the old mom and pop video stores. Gotta have Cujo. City of Blood. It's been a while since I've seen this. Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen this, but I do not think this movie has a DVD or Blu-ray release. It's that's kind of a reason why you still can collect, why people still collect horror VHS in 2023, because there's a lot of these movies that are still in VHS limbo, and they never got a proper release on DVD or Blu-ray, so the only way you can have them, obviously, is through VHS. So, that's a reason to still collect VHS, I think, because there's a lot of really good gems that are just on VHS and VHS only. I don't know if this one is even on DVD, but any Misfits fans out there will recognize the Fiend on there. That's the Crimson Ghost. This is kind of like a 12-part series based on the Crimson Ghost. It's kind of like I don't want to say Sherlock Holmes, but it's kind of like they're trying to find the Crimson Ghost, and he's got all these cronies and criminals, and they just raise hell. And it's good series, the Crimson Ghost. I don't think this ever had a good release though, but just rocking the VHS. But that is where Glenn and the boys got the idea for the Crimson Ghost from this film. Kind of cool. Candyman, Farewell to the Flesh. I have no idea what happened to the cover. Good movie though. I like that sequel. I'd have to upgrade that one. Same as this, The Crow. Not really a horror movie, but horrific elements. Pretty horrific what happened, to Brandon Lee. We all know, but that was one of my favorite action films with a bit of horrific elements. All right, well that is it for the VHS portion. So I'm gonna end the C's of DVDs. First up, we have The Canyon. This was a really good survival film. Very fucking believable, man. Like, wow. This couple, well, this guy right here is a complete idiot. He's a complete idiot. The woman is smarter than the guy, I think, in this movie, and she survives obviously longer than he does. And there's wolves. There's a part where a rattlesnake bites somebody right in the face, and that was brutal. But The Canyon is a really good survival type movie. I would say this would make a really good double bill with something like Backwoods, the movie about that big ass bear. This would make a good feature. The Canyon, good movie. The Centerfold Girls. This movie was amazing. Andrew Prine, big fan of him from what the hell is that movie I like? Simon, King of the Witches. Yeah, he was really good in that. But he plays a serial killer in this movie. And this movie's way ahead of its time too, because in '74, not a lot was really known about serial killers at the time. And this movie really dwells into that, and the whole what kind of goes on in a serial killer's head, and how they like to collect items from their victims. This movie's really good. Very sleazy, very fucking sleazy. Like, there's tits like at least every 10 minutes at least. And it really makes guys looking like scumbags because they're raping women all the time, and you never can trust them. And it's a pretty mean-spirited movie. Surprised it wasn't a video nasty, actually. The Centerfold Girls, that was a good one. Andrew Prine is great in that, from Dark Sky Films. The Child's Eye, kind of a J-horror, kind of like on the lines of Ringu and Ju-on. I am so ashamed to even have this movie. This is one of the worst movies in my collection. The Covenant, one of the worst fucking movies I have. In fact, you know what? There, I don't even fucking want it. I fucking hate that movie so much. I absolutely hate that movie. Calvaire. This was a really fun one. Well, it wasn't really fun, but it's a pretty intense watch. Very good acting in this one. The guy that has to be made wear a dress, that's pretty humiliating. But yeah, it's kind of in the tradition of Texas Chainsaw and Deliverance. Good movie. I'm not a big fan of zomcoms, but I will say... I will say that Cockneys vs. Zombies is one of my absolute favorite zomcoms. This was such a fun movie. So hilarious. One of the most... Such great one-liners. Yeah, I mean, if you think Shaun of the Dead is funny, which it is, it's a good movie. But I think Shaun of the Dead is a little bit overrated, honestly. You know, I do like the film, but I do think it's a little overrated. But it did spawn a lot of other good zomcoms, and this one really, Cockneys versus Zombies. Definitely check this one out if you want a good laugh. Well, we did it. That's the end of the seas. That's it. So, I will show a little bit of the D's. I'll get into some D's. Wow, what a way to start. Ken Russell, The Devils, Oliver Reed, unbelievable film. I absolutely love his performance in this one. This movie still to this day has never been released like in its uncut form, that the way Ken Russell wanted it. But this is pretty much as close as you're gonna get, I think. Just blasphemy all around. Just the ending of this movie, the last 20 minutes of this movie would just, wow, man, it's amazing. Amazing visuals, The Devils, one of my absolute favorites. One of the best, like, Satanic Panic 70s type movies for sure. This was a really good one from 64, Devil Doll. Hugo the Dummy, classic, right up there with, like, the ventriloquist dummy from Dead of Night anthology. This is another creepy doll movie from that time. Love it. About this famous magician implanting the soul into this dummy, and he's his master and stuff, and it gets crazy, man. Devil Doll, good movie. One of my absolute favorites from this director. He's made a lot of really good movies, but Richard Stanley's uncut version of Dust Devil, and this is the only version you need to get, because there's another version out there that's cut, and it eliminates a lot of the story and definitely a lot of the gore and violence, but this is the uncut version. This is one you need to see. It also comes with some shorts that Stanley did called Secret Glory, Voice of the Moon, and The White Darkness. All really good documentaries. This is one director that has some balls to really put shit on the screen that he wants, you know? He's kind of right up there with Jim Van Bever as far as, like, I'm gonna do it my way and fuck you if you don't like it, you know? But Dust Devil's great. I love it. Wow. We definitely got a classic on this one here. The Mighty Dawn of the Dead from 78. One of my absolute favorite horror movies, and just movies in general ever. Amazing edition. You get the theatrical, the European, the extended version, which is my favorite because it has like a lot more shit. And then all the documentaries and just fun shit. Such a great edition. I mean, if you're a fan of Dawn of the Dead, this is the edition to get. As far as DVDs go, I know there's good Blu-rays out there too, but this is an amazing edition. It's like a fucking brick. Oh, Julia Christie and Donald Sutherland. One of my favorite psychological type horror movies. Don't Look Now. Such an amazing film. Such a sense of dread throughout the whole film. The music is just amazing. The visuals alone are just so haunting, especially that midget in the train and the red raincoat. That scene. Check out Don't Look Now if you've never seen it. That's a true classic right there. This was a really good one too. Really good slasher film. Really unique slasher film too. Don't Go in the House from 1980. Very, very unique take on a slasher, because this guy just uses a blowtorch pretty much for everything and just blowtorches his victims. He just don't give a shit. Just executioner style, man. Amazing. Amazing film. Amazing acted. This guy has a serious mommy complex, right up there with like Norman Bates. But his performance is amazing. What is his name? Dan Grimaldali? Maybe? I don't know. Anyway, the guy who played the lead Psycho in this movie is really good. And that scene at the end where all the corpses rise and they're all charred and shit, that's such a great scene. Don't Look in the House, that's absolute classic. That's a classic don't title for sure you want in your horror collection. Oh man. One of my absolute favorite modern horror films of all time, The Descent. Such an amazing premise and survival story, and a sense of claustrophobia in the film. I mean, even before those little creepy Nosferatu creatures arrive, like, it's just such a sense of like claustrophobia. Like when she gets stuck in the cave in the hole, she can't get out. That shit's terrifying. But then when the creatures arrive, oh man, it's a whole nother ballgame. Great gore, classic, just a modern day classic for sure. The Descent. I saw this movie like 3 times in the theater, and it was just great every time. Loved it. Here's a classic, Bela Lugosi in The Devil Bat from 1940. Yes, 40. This includes the black and white and the colored version. It's interesting watching it in color, actually, I must admit. It's interesting seeing Lugosi in color. It's actually kind of cool. But yeah, the black and white, it's a black and white film, so that's the way you really should watch it. But one of Lugosi's greatest works, I think, after he was treated like shit by Universal, he did like a lot more low budget films in his career, towards the end of his career as well. And yeah, I think The Devil Bed is a great film. Excellent. Dan Curtis' Dracula, starring Jack Palance. I think he still is one of the creepiest vampires, or creepiest Draculas, rather. He was really good. He's right up there with Christopher Lee, as far as I'm concerned, as far as like, and even like Robert Quarry in like the Count Yorga movies. He's right up there. Excellent. Lucio Fulci's Demonia. I think it's called Demona. I don't know. This is the DVD, but if I can find it real quick, oh man, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to find it. I can't find it right now. Sorry. I think it's in the other room. But I do have it on Blu-ray. That really nice version from Severin. But this is an old Shriek Show DVD. Great film. One of Fulci's most underrated later films, I think. El Cliver's in it. Really good gore. That anchor scene is pretty badass. And that part where the dude splits in half when he gets caught in that trap and he just splits in half. That was fucking cool. Really good gore, really good movie. Kind of good nunsploitation type film from Fulci. Demonia. Awesome. Guillermo del Toro, The Devil's Backbone. Absolutely amazing ghost story, pretty much. I like how the characters interact with one another, and it's kind of a slow burn, but man, there's some creepy ass parts in this movie. The One Who Sighs, is that the ghost's name? Yeah, The One Who Sighs. That's one of the creepiest on-screen modern ghosts, for sure. The Devil's Backbone was great. Guillermo del Toro, he understands the horror genre for sure. This was a made-for-TV film, but it's one of my favorites. I watch it every October. Not really too many good Scarecrow films. There are some, but this one takes the cake. And this is Dark Night of the Scarecrow, with Charles During as a complete, utter asshole, and he is so great in that role as that asshole mailman. God, you just want to kill him, man. He's just such an asshole. He's just a big fat guy who's eating all the time, drinking, and just... He tries to hide behind kindness, but really he's got a really sinister heart. And amazing performance by the late great Larry Drake as Bubba. Such a a tragic story on how that all happened. How he met his demise, basically. I don't want to give away the movie in case you haven't seen it, but Dark Knight of the Scarecrow, definitely the one you should check out. This is this is a classic right here. Diabolique, Criterion version from 1955. This movie is right up there with Psycho. In fact, I think, if memory serves me right, I believe they said that Alfred Hitchcock was really inspired by this movie and he wanted to make a movie like this. I mean, I think that's pretty legit. This came out in 55. Such a great psychological type film. Diabolique is definitely an experience for sure. The bathtub scene when the dude rises and takes his contacts out and she faints, and yeah, the corpse that just keeps returning, you know, in the most obscure places like the swimming pool, and yeah, this is a great film. Diabolique, excellent. Another Julia Christie movie. Isn't she in prison now? I heard she was in prison. The Demon Seed, one of the best movies about a killer, just a killer computer name. Oh, name Protoss. Yeah, excellent film. Great visuals. Good, really good special effects for its time, and we're talking like 70 something. Yeah, 77. Yeah, good movie. Demon Seed. I have that one on VHS somewhere. This is one of my absolute favorite horror movies of all time. Just the atmosphere in this movie is great, and I'm so glad that Mondo Macabro gave this the justice that it deserves, the release that it deserves, because for the longest time I had like this really shitty Mill Creek version that had like Messiah of Evil with the Devil's Nightmare, but this is the one to get. Erica Black, one of the hottest, most stunning woman I've ever seen, right up there with Soledad Miranda when it comes to horror movies. And she's so good in this as the succubus. This is from 71. Such an absolute amazing film. Love The Devil's Nightmare. Check this one out if you've never seen it. Highly recommend it. If you're a fan of like gothic horror, 70s gothic horror, you'd eat this up. One of Tom Savini's greatest works, I think. Day of the Dead. Unmatched zombie carnage. Still to this day, it is such a fun movie to watch. Captain Rhodes, Joe Pilato, rest in peace. God, he was so great as Rhodes. Couldn't have picked a better actor for that role. What the fuck is wrong with you people? They're dead! They're fucking dead, and you want to teach them tricks. Classic. I love it. Quote this movie all day. Day of the Dead. One of my favorite zombie movies. In fact, this is actually my favorite zombie, or George Romero zombie movie. It used to be Dawn of the Dead, and then it used to be Night of the Living Dead too. They're both great films, but this one is so mean-spirited and just pulls no punches, and Tom Savini's effects, he finally got the blood to look right. Thanks to getting like secrets from like Dick Smith, how to make real blood, or blood look more real. Because in Dawn of the Dead, they were like more like, they look like more like red paint, you know. But this one, the gore is just amazing. Early work by Greg Nicotero as well. Excellent. And you can't forget Howard Sherman as Bub, one of the most iconic, I guess, friendly intelligent zombies ever. Day of the Dead, great. This movie is by Eric Stanze, who did another one I like called Scrapbook, and I can't remember. I know he did Scrapbook and a bunch of other movies. He's a good director. It's called Deadwood Park. I usually watch this one around October too because it's got a really good October setting with the fall leaves, and yeah, this one's great. Amazing atmosphere in this movie. Pretty terrifying in parts too when the ghosts appear, and but it's a very, very disturbing film as far as the subject matter goes. But the payoff at the end when you find out what's really going on, I mean, it just makes the whole movie. One of those where you just got to watch the whole movie and then just enjoy the moment, especially towards the end. But Deadwood Park, I hardly hear anybody talk about this movie. It's like one of my absolute favorites. Deadwood Park. Eric Stanzi. Jorg Buttkreit of Necromantic fame. Dear Toads King, the Death King. Well, very depressing film. Very depressing film. Not a movie that you want to watch to have a good time, for sure. It's not one you want to watch with your girlfriend or whatever. But yeah, it's because it'll bring the mood down. But I like it. It's a good movie. Good movie about suicide and death. But what's cool about this release is you get the bonus shockumentary Corpse Fucking Art. The making of all the Necromantic films and Schramm. All his films. It's a good release. And the last one I have for this section, for now, George Kennedy in one of my absolute favorites, Death Ship. I think Death Ship is one of the best boat horror movies ever made. I think it is. It's just when they board that ship and all that crazy shit starts happening, and it's a Nazi ship too. So like, you know, those sailors were Nazis, so their spirits are obviously evil Nazis, and it's just, and obviously it possesses George Kennedy, and just mayhem ensues. That part where the woman is taking a shower and then just the whole water just turns to blood, and just, yeah, stunning visuals. Fucking just a great film, great time. It just got a really good Blu-ray release, but this is the Scorpion DVD release. I wouldn't mind upgrading because I really do like this film. But Death Ship is amazing. Absolute amazing film. Well, I guess that's it for now. Appreciate you watching and subscribing. I will have more videos in the future. We're done with the C's now, so we're on with the D's. So, gonna be some good times because I got a lot of good D's. And so forth. So, yeah. Thank you all very much. Skid Gore. Gore forever.